It's hoarding and you do need help, and Sybil's response is, I'm not a hoarder, I just have trouble organizing things.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch, part of my boot camp series. And what do I have for you today? We're gonna be talking about stash or shatter. One of my Patreons reached out to me and said, Aaron, I've got a great idea for a boot camp video. It would help me greatly. I'm hoarding so much junk and I don't know what to keep. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, first little tip right off the bat. A lot of times you are going to run out of shatter runes, okay? This happens all the time, especially when you're collecting gear end game. Make sure every single time you go to an NPC, you purchase the shatters. They're going to refresh periodically, and you can build up a ton of them just by purchasing them. So every time you go to sell gear, do not forget to purchase shatters and get them transferred in. Take care. Tip number 2, we're going to go over to my stash for a second. And by the way, if you don't know how to organize your stash, I have a boot camp video for that as well. Now, you see armor and shield, helms and belts, catalyst and relics, boots and gloves, bows, quiver, staffs, accessories, idols, two-handed, one-handed sets, legendaries, weaver, will items. Now, this is what I do, okay? I keep one of everything, unless it has a good legendary potential roll and I want to turn it into a legendary, then I will keep a second. But for the most part, I keep one of everything and I always keep the highest rolled version. And I just continuously switch them out based upon legendary potential or the roll for the item. There's only a couple of items I keep for fun. Like you'll see here, I have a Bastion of Honor legendary. And in here, I've got another 7 of them. I found 7 Bastions of Honor. So that's just more of like a fun thing I do with the community. But the way you want to set it up is always switch out your uniques based upon the best roll and legendary potential. Now what we're going to do is look at some exalted items and we're going to see if we should stash them or shatter them. Okay, but we need better scenery than this. We have now arrived at the Shining Cove. This is normally where I do my Last Epoch recording. I think it looks really, really nice. Now, when you are looking at gear, there's normally 3 things you want to think about. 1, can this be used for your current build? 2, can this item be used for an alt or a different build you want to try out? And 3, can this item be put into a unique to create a legendary? Those are the 3 things I look at when it comes to how much hoarding I'm going to do in my stash. And even, I probably keep too much as it is. Now, Necro isn't a great example because on here I'm just using an exalted helmet and we're using Aaron's Will, my body armor, but we're going to go through these items nonetheless. And we're just going to go through them one at a time. Okay, so on here, first thing you will see, tier 6, increased spell skeleton mage damage, 1 to Reaper form, 2 to armor, 4 to stun avoidance, T4 stun avoidance. I'm going to re-roll the stun avoidance, and if this does not turn into life, it's gone. Re-roll, health generation. I do not need health generation on any of my Necro builds, so we are not going to keep you, and you are shattered. Next. Increased armor, tier 6, 63%. That's a lot of armor. Now on here, intelligence is fine, but we do not need fire. Now, if this was a high roll tier 7 and it was on a good base, which this is, I would think about trying to seal this fire affix. But we are not going to do that. We are just going to chaos it to try and get rid of it and get life. And life. Cold resistance, we do not need. Since we did not get a life roll, this is also gone. Next, tier 6, summon skeleton, 112% minion, summon wraith, tier 5, health, and this has a sealed 15%. Now, as you can see on here, this is 2+ to skills with double life, with a sealed affix on a really good base. So this is an item that I could use for a potential build into the future, or I can use this to create a pretty awesome legendary. So this one will be a keeper. Obviously, I've already crafted on that one. Moving over. 11 to intelligence, 205, increased skeleton mage damage, necrotic resistance, base life. This item has a bad base, but it is a tier 21. again, I can use this to create a legendary based upon the affixes on it. So we are going to keep it. Next. This is minion freeze rate multiplier. 11 to vitality, 98 to life, and dodge. Now on here, we do not need the dodge. So we're going to try and roll this into armor percent or life percent. No. Lightning. Don't need it. You are gone. Tier 6 life. Ooh, we might need to keep this for our race. This one has a minion freeze rate multiplier. We don't need that. Rolled with vitality. So look at this. This is a quad life item. Minion health, vitality, health, and health percent. Now on here, all the rolls are bad with the exception of vitality. So I'm going to re-roll the affixes. 174, 11, 102, 23. Re-roll them again. 174, 11, 91, 26. And I'm going to leave it right there. Quad life. We are going to keep it. Next. I sent my minions away. +1 to skeletons, +2 to wraiths, armor, and life. Now this is one I am going to keep because I need +1 to maximum skeletons to move over to an Aaron's Will. So this one is a keeper just because of a singular affix on it. And we continue. T7, damage leached his life while transformed. This is a tier 22 for Lich. I am going to keep it. This is a intelligence, tier 6 crit for skeletons, physical, and life. Gonna keep it. These are all for legendaries. Tier 6 shared bleed with life. I do not need that. Minion bleed. No. Because bleed, if I'm going to use bleed, I'm going to use it on squirrels or a different build. Not for my minions. That is gone. Let's see, vitality. This has a stun avoidance. Don't need stun avoidance. Minion freeze rate, health regen, and this one's, oh, it's got armor percent. This one needs to change. Life, dodge rating, gone. +3 to wraiths, fire, and life. Well, we're not going to need fire, and this is base life, not life percent. We're going to take this, and we would add to it. Actually, we're going to keep this. So this one would be strictly to turn into a legendary, trying to move that summon wraith over. Okay. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we got rid of an additional 6. So out of the 13 armors, after doing some crafting, we were able to keep 7 of them. And obviously, if I wanted to be like, we're only going to keep tier 7 affixes, we can get rid of another half. Now let's go through helmets. This is a tier 22 dual tier 6 roll. Vitality, intelligence, endurance, and health percent. Terrible base, but again, would be great for legendaries, and 3 of the affixes are perfect rolls. Keep. Tier 7 armor, void resistance, vitality, shared fire damage on a great base. Keep. Minion health, intelligence, poison. This is going to need a lot of work. Mana, no. Shared bleed on hit, no. Mana, no. And regen, gone. T7 intelligence, increased armor crit. I'm going to keep this and not put another affix on it for legendaries. Tier 7 increased health, endurance threshold, summon bone golem, which I'm out of shards on. Increased minion health. Keep this. 2 left. Crit avoidance health. We do not want minion health regen. Increased skeleton mage. Increased spell damage per skeleton mage. Don't want that. And last. Tier 7 critical strike chance for skeletons. Cold fire. An increased skeletal mage. This one strictly for trying to move over that one perfectly rolled tier 7 affix. Okay, here is our stash based upon everything we would keep. And again, I could probably get rid of some of this stuff as well, but you know, I'm a little bit of a hoarder. These are all ones I would keep. Let's move over to idols. Now, idols are a little more difficult to explain, but I'm going to do my best and we will go into the loot filter. Now, when you're looking at your idols, you want to find 2 affixes that synergize with each other and potentially synergize with your build or any build. Starting off with what everybody looks for, which is the double life or double health idol. On the screen right now, you will see that this idol rolled with 5% to life and 20% base life. And this can roll at perfect 530. And I've got one at 520, one at 315, and one at 315. And I'm sure I got a bunch on other builds as well. This is what's just on my Necro. On top of that, when you're looking at a humble idol, you want 3 to vitality and 17 to the secondary affix. So you'll see this one is a 317, which is perfect. On this one, 317, which is perfect. So these are the types of idols that I will always keep. Now, when you're looking at Necromancer, which is the character we are on, you can also get double life idols, large Acolyte idols. This one can roll 954, 954. And then if you're going like a fire Necro, you can get less damage over time taken and as high as 72 to fire, less damage over time taken and 59 to fire. Last but not least, just showing off some idols that have good synergy. Chance to summon Flame Wraith, 55%, almost perfect roll, and this has on it minion chance to apply Mark of Death on hit, one of the quintessential idols for any minion build, okay? And these are just some examples of idols you want to keep in higher rolled versions, but this is how you actually find them. You want to go to your settings, go to your loot filter, and you want to recolor certain affixes. Now, what you want to do is go down here to general idols, and you only click 3 things. Go to your general idols and click 3 things: health, health, and vitality. And then pick up everything that has those 3 and hope that you got a perfect rolled one or something that is at least decent. Now, obviously there's hundreds of different builds out there. So how do you select the rest? Very simple. You got to shop for your idols. So on here, I clicked health. Come down here, chance to apply Mark of Death on hit. Click. Keep going down. Critical strike chance for you and your minions. Critical strike chance for skeletons and skeleton mages. Those are the only 4 idol affixes I am currently looking for. And that way, when I am playing, if they drop on the ground, you will see it. And it comes up with that nice color, whatever color you are looking for. And that way, you know, you're not picking up every single idol, but you are picking up idols that are affixes that you have selected. So now what we're going to do is talk about must keep affixes. Now, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. Obviously, everybody has their own opinion. What they keep, what they shatter, what they use. This is just my opinion and what has worked for me over the years, okay? So take it all with a grain of salt because everybody does it differently. Home stretch. Here we go. Now, there's certain items that I always keep. These are the items that I would probably become a little bit of a hoarder with. And it's because I'm always coming up with new build ideas, and a lot of times these items could be build defining, and you will see why. +2 skills. +4 to drain life, +3 to fireball, +3 to synchronize strike, thorn totem, summon wolf, ring of shields, teleport, summon wolf again, storm totem, shield bash, flame ward, ballista, fury leap, +4 to aura of decay. And I've got so many of these items, I just grabbed a few. So normally if it is a tier 6, tier 7 affix that I feel like I can build around, I will keep that item and try and slam it onto a unique to create an awesome legendary. So those ones for me are normally always keep. That is the video. Recap. When you go to your NPCs, buy shatters. Do not keep anything that you feel like cannot be used for your build, cannot be used for an alt, and cannot go onto a legendary item. Make sure you use your loot filter to hunt for those rare idols. And lastly, I recommend you keep your items that are plus the skills. That's the boot camp video. I hope it helps somebody out there. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I deserve it. And if I don't deserve it, I'm gonna work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 87 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I get asked all the time, Aaron, what is the best way to support the channel? And honestly, I say this all the time. I need the likes, I need the shares, I need the comments, I need the interaction on Twitch and YouTube. It truly means so much, and obviously all of that stuff is free. But if you ever want to take it one step farther, Patreon is the best way over everything else, and you get tons of benefits that we are giving to that community. First link in the description, tons of bootcamp videos, tons of build guides if you need any help with Last Epoch. That's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.